People go into a trance-like state every day. Driving is probably the classic example. Those moments where you're going from point A to point B, you get there and you're wondering, how the hell did I get here? I don't remember the last 15 minutes.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Hypnotherapy, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, okay, we are asking or expecting clients to go into hypnosis, into a trance. But hypnotherapy is the combination of hypnosis and therapy. In fact, I was reading a quote recently about a definition. And the definition was that hypnotherapy is that moment where we suspend judgment. So what we're really doing is getting the conscious mind just to park yourself over there to give me access to the unconscious mind, which is where all our habits and behaviours are stored. And that then gives me an opportunity to talk with the client's unconscious mind to empower them to make the changes that they want to make.
So what are some things that hypnotherapy is most useful for?
Well, for me, most of my clients I'm seeing are for anxiety. I see a lot of people for anxiety and panic attacks. I'm also seeing people for smoking, weight loss, that's a big one, overcoming fears and phobias, motivation motivation for sports performance, stage fright, public speaking performance. It's really interesting. Whenever someone wants to make a change, I think it's my job to get that person out of their own way. So over life, we tend to start to take on habits and behaviours that are just stopping us from being the best version of us that we can be. So in a way, I think it's my job to get people out of their own way so they can just be free to achieve.
Interesting. Tell me more.
I've got a classic story that I tell a lot of people. I had a guy, he came from Singleton, which is about an hour's drive from here, for smoking. This guy is 40 years of age, smoking a pack a day, had been for 20 years. And he came back in for his second session. And I asked him, as I would, so how did you go? And he said, well, before I answer that, can I give you some feedback? He said, last week I walked out of here and I got in my car and I thought, well, that was the biggest waste of time and money I've ever done. And I'm thinking, well, thanks for your feedback. What do I do now? But I thought, well, he came back. So I asked him about the smoking and he said, well, that was weird because I got home and when I pulled into the driveway, I thought, hang on, I would normally have had 5 smokes by now. And he said, I got inside and my wife was preparing dinner. Now that's always a sign for him to go out to the back shed to have a smoke. And he said, I didn't even think about it. And he sat down with the family, had dinner, and now after dinner he said, I'll always go out the back to have a smoke before I sit down with the kids and watch TV. And it never entered his mind. And he said, I got to bed that night thinking, maybe that hypnosis worked. And I asked him, so how many have you had? He said, none. I went, hang on, you've gone from 180 smokes a week to 0, and you're telling me it didn't work. And we both laughed about it. But I thought the way he described that was perfect. He's walked out, and his conscious mind is thinking, I don't think anything happened. But the changes happened underneath in the subconscious mind. And it's only later on the conscious observed this new behaviour and thought, well, that's weird. Something's really changing here. So it's something that sort of flies under the radar. And that's the beauty of hypnosis, where change is happening where you're not really aware that it's happening.
Oh, that's right.
I do believe that it's successful. I would be a bit of a challenge as a client or a patient, but no, I do see the success in it. Since starting it, I've calmed down in myself. I've accepted my reality. I've started to make small shifts. So my goal was to quit smoking. Unfortunately, I'm still challenging myself with that, but it has cut down a lot. So after the session today, I've got a lot of positivity coming out of it. So I just need to continue forward with that.
If there's one thing you could tell the whole world about hypnotherapy, what would you tell them?
It's relaxing.
Yeah.
you get to just look up at that fan up there. While you do, have your eyes focused up there. Wonder if you can now just bring your awareness to your breathing. Imagine you can see that breath, so that with every breath out you can relax. Yeah, and as you breathe in, you bring back the energy and then you relax again. And even though your eyes might be starting to feel a little bit heavier, maybe 10 times heavier, but you're just resisting that at the moment because you don't want to go into trance just yet. And just be aware of that breath. And I wonder if you can maybe take 3 deeper breaths now. And on the 3rd breath, just hold it a bit longer. And when you release that 3rd breath, just finding those eyes getting so heavy, you can just allow them to close on the next exhalation and do that. Now, that's right. And just feel as if you could just sink into that chair. With nobody wanting your time, nobody wanting your energy. This is your time to just let go. And when you are this relaxed, I wonder how relaxed those hands are, this one and that one there. And knowing that one of those hands might be feeling just a little bit different to the other one. Maybe one hand is feeling slightly warm, the other hand is feeling cooler. One hand feeling light, maybe as light as a feather. And the other one's heavy, so heavy. It feels stuck to the chair. But the hand that is feeling light, Nicole, I wonder if you can imagine someone has just tied a silk ribbon around that wrist. And they've attached a large helium balloon. It's a colour that's quite calming for you. And just being aware of that balloon just gently tugging at that wrist. A light floating feeling. That's right, a tingle in the fingers. You can just feel that happening now, while this other hand is feeling heavier. And if we were to put more helium in that balloon now, you can just feel it just tugging and lifting higher and higher again. And the lighter it feels, the deeper you go. And the deeper you go, the lighter that hand feels. You can just feel it just floating there, beautiful light floating feeling. And even if I was to help that balloon just a little bit there, if I was just to help it just a little bit there, we're just going to let that balloon just hold it there, that's right. And even if I try to push that hand down, I know that balloon's got it now. We're just going to leave that hand there. But in a moment, I'm going to count to 3, and when I get to 3, you will remain deep in trance, your eyes will open. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Just looking at that hand there, I'm just wondering, the lightness in that hand, is there a message that perhaps your unconscious mind is sending you? Maybe a message that something that you would love to release, something you'd love to let go, an old behaviour, an old habit that you think, it's time to let it go. And when you think that your unconscious mind is ready to release that once and for all, you'll find that that balloon can be let go and that hand will come down to rest, and at the count of 3, closing your eyes, 1, 2, 3, going deeper and deeper and deeper still. And just going to the deepest level of relaxation that's right for you today, and deeper. And at the count of 3, opening your eyes, 1, 2, 3, and 10 times deeper. Just go deeper, deeper, that's right. Just going to the level of depth that's just perfect for you today. I might just leave it there. And at the count of 3, opening your eyes, 1, 2, 3, coming all the way back to the room now, all the way back to the room.
Oh, that's right.